It's interesting to explore how the brain, the body, and the way we perceive the world around us, they're all so deeply connected. Imagine, if you will, the way a seed grows. Picture yourself planting it in the soil. You nurture it with care, providing water, sunlight, and the right environment. And with time, it sprouts. Now what if, just like that seed, you started to nourish your mind and your body with small, seemingly simple actions every day? Can you see how those actions, though small, they can create profound changes in your life, in ways you might not expect at first? Now think about a person who starts a business. Can you see how they might approach life a little differently? Not only are they taking risks and pushing forward into new territory, but they're also likely opening up new spaces in their mind. These new spaces allow them to think about things in ways they haven't before. And it's not just their business that gets a boost, it's their creativity too. Especially when they begin to explore hobbies outside of work. Things they do simply for the joy of it, like drawing, painting, or even just exploring new ideas. It's through these hobbies, in fact, that their creativity really expands. And who knows, it might even be through one of these hobbies, like Galileo did, that they've a breakthrough idea, seeing things in a new light, from a perspective that only they could have recognized. Imagine for a moment, you might be thinking, if I just took a little more time for creative things outside of my usual work, what would that do for me? You see, what happens is, when you step outside of the usual routine, you make space for your brain to relax, for new connections to form, and for ideas to emerge. Now let's think about how the mind and the body communicate. It's like a dance. The brain, your mind, and your body, they're always in this constant back and forth rhythm, reacting and responding to each other, keeping things in balance. But what happens when that dance isn't as smooth? What happens when one part starts to fall out of sync? Maybe it's because of a stressful week, or because of something unexpected that throws you off. You start to feel off. The prefrontal cortex, which is like the CEO of your brain, it has trouble keeping things together. You might even feel stuck in your emotions. You see, the limbic system, the part of your brain that handles feeling, it might start leading the dance, and suddenly you're no longer in control. When this happens, it can feel like a downward spiral. Small things can begin to snowball into bigger things. Maybe you're not getting enough sleep, feeling left out, or not working out like you used to. You know, how when one thing goes wrong, it can feel like everything else follows suit. That's the cycle, the chain reaction. Just like when you miss a step in the dance, everything else feels off. It's almost like the body chemistry has shifted, pulling you further down into a place where it's harder to break free. You may not always notice the changes at first. They may feel insignificant. A little sleep disruption here, a missed workout there. But each of these seemingly small things can lead into a pattern where the body's chemistry shifts, and that shift changes how you feel about yourself and the world around you. When you start to notice this, you might realize certain chemicals in your brain play a huge part in how you experience life. For example, serotonin, that important chemical, when it's off, it can leave you feeling unmotivated, like you just don't have the willpower to do anything. Can you recall a time when you felt like that? Maybe it was difficult to get out of bed, or to do things that you normally enjoy. And then there's dopamine. Dopamine is often tied to enjoyment. When you're feeling a lack of dopamine, things, they don't seem fun or rewarding. Even the idea of doing something that you normally love can feel draining. Dopamine's absence can make it harder to break out of the old habits, especially the ones that don't serve you anymore. You've probably heard of GABA before, right? That's the chemical that helps to calm you down, to relieve anxiety. When there's not enough of it, your brain might feel like it's constantly on edge, anxious, unable to fully relax. And let's not forget about melatonin, the sleep hormone. You know how crucial sleep is. But when melatonin dysfunctions, it's like you're trying to drive a car without the proper fuel. The car won't run, just as your body won't recharge properly. It becomes harder to get the quality rest that you need. So can you see how this chemical dance, when things aren't in balance, can really affect how you feel, both mentally and physically? But what if you could make small adjustments, just like you would with a tiny seed in the ground, gently shifting its environment so it grows strong and healthy? What if you started focusing on wellness, on the balance of sleep, movement and nutrition? By paying attention to these simple yet powerful practices, your body starts to regain its balance. Things start to shift little by little. You can begin to reset your chemical balance. And imagine, after practicing mindfulness and meditation, how your brain might begin to grow in new ways. Brain scans have shown, after doing mindfulness meditation, parts of the brain associated with compassion, self-awareness and calmness grow stronger, while areas linked to stress begin to shrink. How powerful is that? See, the brain is already adaptable, and it responds so well to new habits, small changes that over time lead to big transformations. In fact, just like a plant that's reaching for the sun, every action you take in the right direction brings you closer to the balance you need. So imagine your life, how it can begin to shift when your body, your brain and your heart are in sync, when the dance becomes smooth again. And all of this, just like Galileo's discovery, might come from the simplest things, the smallest shifts, the little steps that you take every day to make a big difference in the long run. Are you ready to see the change?